Hey, how's it going? Welcome to a noon workout here. My name's Jeremy, and we're going to be doing these stability ball CORE-ISMA. We're going to build some CORE-ISMA in our body. All right, so we're going to start off with a warm-up, and I'll explain a little bit of stuff. You need a stability ball, a little loop band here, one that goes around, all right, and some sliders, all right? It's only 2 exercises that use the sliders and the loop band, so you can just jog in place if you don't have them, all right? So, speaking of jogging in place, we're gonna do that right now, all right? So we're gonna get up here and we're gonna get a little march going and try to get ourselves warmed up for the start of this, all right? So, this workout is not for everybody, all right? So we have a little disclaimer here, to watch out for here is that, since I can't see you do this, you are working out at your own risk. Try to get the posture right. I'm gonna talk about it a lot. This may not be the best workout for you. It's not for everyone. Talk to your doctor or do it at an in-person program if you're uncertain how to do these things. If something hurts in a negative way, get some help on that, all right? So let me do some little jumping jacks here. So I'm gonna warm up my shoulders, warm up my legs, just so I'm ready for some CORE-ISMA building, all right? So now for me, the core, is a large part of the body, in fact. Maybe larger than other people consider the core. Some people consider the core just from the rib cage to the hips. All right, I'm gonna do a little tap back, reach up here. All right, so some people think the core is like just rib cage to hips and like really just the abdominal muscles. Now, I think core is maybe like our fundamental muscles in our body. And that to me includes the muscles of the upper back around the shoulder blade and the muscles of the deeper hip, there, all right? So getting those 2 areas, going well is gonna be fairly important too. All right, go ahead and kick back, crisscross. So we're gonna do about 75 seconds, on each exercise. They'll give us some time to transition a little bit too, but as soon as you get there, try to get it going, all right? Who am I? I'm Jeremy. I'm known as the tall trainer. I'm not the tallest, trainer out there, but there is a little fun fact I wanted to share for the day, and that is my daughter Hope and I once solved the frog puzzle at the Bloomfield playground. All right, so there it is right there. We solved the frog puzzle at the Bloomfield playground. That's how good we are. Go ahead and step aside. So that, you probably didn't realize you were in the presence of such greatness as a frog. Because if you ever came across that frog puzzle on the Bloomfield playground, you might be like, whoa, wow, can't believe they did that. That is excellence personified right there. All right, a little Frankenstein walk. It was actually kind of hard, but. All right, so kicking here, getting the back of the hamstrings loosened up a little bit here. This will get us set up. I love this kind of work. I need this kind of work for my body. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but even when I was more of a spring chicken, my body still didn't work quite right. And these exercises are really gonna establish some great fundamentals for our posture. All right, we're gonna little squat hold, and then we will get ready to rock and roll. All right, so we're gonna start off with an exercise on the ground, called the booty bridge, or at least mostly on the ground. It's on the ball, but we're laying down a little bit more. So we're gonna sit on the ball, we're gonna roll out, we're gonna do a wall squat. I'm just gonna do them as we do them, all right? You just follow along, trying not to get lost, all right? All right, so let me just adjust my timer just a little bit and get my minute 15 ready here. All right, so let's find our ball. Ready and go. All right, so sitting the ball, I'm gonna roll out, all right, and I'm dropping my hips in and squeezing out. This is the basic booty bridge on the stability ball. Now what I want you to do is bring your feet back towards you a little bit more, all right? And so when you squeeze up, you're gonna feel a little bit more tightness on the top of the thigh, and squeeze hard at the top and drop down just a little bit, and squeeze hard at the top. So this is where we're really starting to work the core here. All right, we're establishing some good body positions here. My abs are pulled in, my hips are tipped up towards me, and really you start really feeling that in the glutes and a stretch across the top here. Good strong squeeze. At least a couple seconds on the squeeze. All right. and then drop in, reset, squeeze again. All right, so it's a strong effort at the top of that motion. That's where most of the work is happening. If I roll down this way a little more, I can get it a little bit worse too. All right, drop in. If this gets too hard on the knee, let me move the feet a little bit farther out, but hopefully you can do this and get the benefit of stretching some tight muscles and working those glutes up against the tightness of your hip flexor and quad there, all right? So drop it in, squeezing up. I've already got a good little cramp thing going on. This is lovely, all right? All right, so now we got the wall squat, all right? You take the ball up on the wall, put your butt on it, your tailbone, kind of like the seam of your pants there, and then we're gonna roll down because it's gonna roll up higher as we come down. You wanna start with that ball, you know, fairly low so it doesn't roll up to your head while you're doing this. All right, now the feet are out a little bit as I'm doing this. All right, so but I don't be leaning back and pushing into the ball too much. My butt's pushing into the wall, into the wall, and I'm really coming up and down right here. Now this is for thighs. All right, we're going for thighs just a little bit more. All right, but it is still getting the glutes through there too. All right, for me, I like this exercise. I like anything that can work my thighs because I have really long femurs, and that means my knees can be really fragile. All right, and I need these quad muscles to protect my knees. I need as much quad as I can get to keep my knees happy. All right, so I'm gonna get that. If you really want to cook it, don't go all the way up. Oh boy. All right, so we're gonna do 2 rounds on this. All right, 2 rounds on these exercises. Ooh, yeah. All right, so now I got the wide split, and we're reaching side to side here. All right, so I'm going wide apart with my feet. I'm gonna get a stretch in here, and I'm gonna shuffle it over here. I'm gonna reach, double-handed reach, push down the ball a little bit, make sure that back's not bending too much. All right, get a little stretch, and then shuffle it over here and stretch. All right, so part of getting our body working well is making sure certain things can bend and move. All right, so reaching out about as far as you can, keeping those legs fairly straight. So keep that leg fairly straight as you're doing it. Oh, I was really excited to make this today because I was like, oh, I need this kind of work. Oh, this is the kind of workout that makes you feel a lot better. All right, more flexible, more bendy, younger. All right, less likely to hurt yourself. I like being less likely to hurt myself. I don't know about you. You like it? Oh, okay. All right. Oh. Speaking of, if I try to talk to you and you don't talk back, you can always comment. All right, so throw a little comment on it. I won't see it while we're doing it, but I can check it after the fact. Check it after the fact. All right, so I get the pass and tap here. So I'm gonna lay it on my back here. All right, now put the ball between my feet, tap it on the ground, reach up, come to get it a little bit, tap it on the ground behind me, going back and forth here. Now, as I'm doing this, I want to make sure you're not arching your back up off the ground, so I keep a tightness in the lower abdominal, so I'm not arching up here, keeping that braced, reaching down here. And if I want to really get to a little more, I can add a little more reach with the shoulder blades coming off the ground. Go, come up and get that ball just a little bit more. If your back is really sensitive right now, I wouldn't do it that far. I would maybe even stay in just a small range right here where you're not tapping it all the way on the ground. Nice big reach. Now I wouldn't go straight-legged on this. If you go straight-legged, you're more likely to get hip flexors and lose some of the ab. All right, so keep that tight because you really do want to target the lower abdominals in this work. Voted best place to work in Canandaigua. The lower abdominals. Yep. All right. So next up, we have the hamstring curl. We don't have to go too far. All right. Put my feet up on the ball here. I'm gonna go right up in here, go into a little bridge type of thing, and I'm gonna roll in and lift higher. All right. Now most people aren't gonna be able to lift up as high as I'm doing right now. All right. It's a difficult kind of strength. All right, because you're trying to think about lifting your hips first, and then roll the ball in. Keep the toes pulled back towards you so you don't get too calf crampy. If you point your toes while doing this, you're gonna be very likely to get a little grab in your calf muscle. You don't want that. All right, digging in, lifting up. All right, digging in, lifting up. And really focusing in, because we're trying to get this booty bridge thing happening a little bit too. So the butt is working, but also those hamstrings. Oh boy, those hamstrings. And if you can't get as high as I can, just still try to get as high as you can. Try not to set your butt all the way down at the bottom. Right? Keep a little space underneath there, right? If I really focus in, I can make it brilliant. And what I'm focusing in on is lifting the hips first and then drawing those heels towards me. Oh, yes. All right, band pull apart with the arms. All right, so I'm gonna come up here. Maybe I'll take a little knee or something here. All right, I'm just coming apart. All right, right in here. Now I'm not gonna collapse all the way back together again. I'm just moving just a little bit, shoulders down, just trying to get between my shoulder blades on this. All right, so what I'm working on is across the shoulders a bit, but also between the shoulders. Between the shoulders, I'm getting some good thing in here, all right? So I go back here, there's a little squeeze back in my back as I'm doing this. All right, squeezing back. Small little move there. Keep shoulders down. Whew. Oh boy, this is great. Boy, remember Jeremy, you were happy about doing this one. Oh boy. Why is this little band so hard to do? Now, it's gonna be easier to do if you kind of like boing in each time, but I'm really trying to keep the tension on and go just a little bit wider, a little bit in, a little bit wider, a little bit in. Oh, I'm about out of steam here. I'm about out of time too, hopefully, come on, almost there. Oh. All right, so we're gonna do it on the legs here, all right? We don't need our ball for this one. I'm gonna put this around my ankles, all right? This might take you longer to get set up. I'm gonna put my feet on the sliders. This is where the sliders come in to the workout. I'm laying down, and I'm going out and in with this now. Now I wanna do this because it's gonna get that same work, but now I don't have to worry about, it's the same thing we're doing with the upper body, but now I'm getting it in the hips here too. All right, working these upper little glutes on the sides. So you're just coming out a little bit there, coming back, coming out and back, out and back. Oh, small little squeezes there. All right. Oh man, torturous little squeezes. All right, so pull your toes back towards you as you're doing that. Oh, scorching, scorching. It seems like it shouldn't be this hard. It really does. All right, keep the abs pulled in. A little cramp coming up on the sides of the glutes here. Go, oh, right there, right in there. Feel that muscle. These are really important muscles. These are the muscles that do a lot of walking for us. Just about burn that sucker out there. All right, we got a side to side. We're standing up here, all right? We're doing a side to side reach with the stability ball. So this one's a big high one, all right? So you can't even see the ball when I'm doing this one. All right, so I'm reaching out, reaching over, about as far as I can get to, and then I'm switching sides, all right? Now I'm trying to reach high and over, and I'm getting my oblique, you know, this muscle right over here is flexing while I'm doing this, and I'm working on some balance a little bit too, all right? Oh, yeah, that's good. All right, so if you lose your balance a little bit, just try to fight and see if you can keep some of it. Pull the abs in front of you. All right, so like you're pulling your stomach towards your spine. Oh, yeah. You get that reaching out to the side as much as you can. Oh. Reach. That's awesome. That is a good deal right there. I can feel my abs connecting in some of this. I feel those hip muscles I just worked. Posture is working on that too. All right, we got the prone cobra. We're laying our stomach on the ball. All right, this is gonna change my voice a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna curl over the ball. I'm gonna roll back to straight. Roll the shoulders back, shoulders right in the ears, butts tight. Just slouch back over. Now I'm not trying to hyperextend too much. I'm just trying to get to actual extension. And I'm trying to get the shoulders away from the ears and push the chest out as I'm doing this, all right? Over and back. Now, ideally, my butt's tight, my abs are pulled in while doing this, and that's actually gonna make the core light up a bit more. So Pull the abs in. And I'm gonna feel the lower back more as I tighten my butt and my abs there. So especially as I get to the top abs, butt, and the lower back starts getting warm a little bit too. Shoulder squeezing back. A chance to work on that shoulder posture as well. Turning the thumbs out as I come up here. Turning in, turning out. You gotta collapse in a little bit, and then you roll it back. So you get a chance to work in through the body there. Good squeeze at the top. Abs tight. So starting to get some good warmth there. Now we're gonna switch over to pointer. All right, basically the same position, but I'm doing just left arm, right leg to start with here. All right, just up and down, right in there. Trying to keep as much of my body weight on the ball as possible. This is not as high as I can go kind of thing. This is controlled reaching, reaching far out with the heel, and really trying to keep the abs pulled in hard. It's like I'm trying to grab the ball with my abdominals. And what that's gonna do is, when I get that, it radiates into my lower back a little bit. All right, the warmth, not a stabbing, but a warmth. It's okay to work your lower back. It needs the work. Just like when you're shoveling, it starts to burn that lower back. This is what we're doing. We're just getting it ready. We're doing that kind of work. Now I'm also getting some burn in my shoulder here too. All right, my shoulders are a bit tight, so lifting into this position starts to get some burn across the top of the shoulder. So I need it. I need this kind of work. Most people do because of the slouchy nature of a lot of stuff that we have to do in our jobs. Whew. Oh, almost there. Oh. All right, switch sides. So it's getting warmer and warmer in that lower back. We're gonna kind of try to take it about as far as that can handle it. All right, so now we're kind of working across the other side of the back, but still the amount of time is gonna start adding up in there. On purpose for sure. Ugh. Abs pulled in. Reach in there. I didn't decide if I was going to do a rest break after this one or go right in. I don't know. Bobby, what do you think? Take a break. Take a break? He says take a break. I like what he said. All right. Squeeze up there. Come down. Squeeze up. Come down. Abs pulled in. Get it cooking in that lower back right now. It's almost the same kind of crampy feeling you get in your abs when you're doing crunches. All right? Now we're not changing back position at all. We're really bracing up a whole lot, but we're working through those muscles in a very safe way, but a needed way. One of my favorite exercises for my lower back is this one right here, and I haven't been doing enough of it. All right, last couple seconds. All right, Bobby said take a break. Let's take a break, because I could probably use that anyway. All right, so my lower back, warm in there, all right? And my hips got pretty good, my shoulders got pretty good, my abdominals got some good stuff, and my abdominals really were included in almost every exercise there. There's some element of core to them. This is not like a fry your abdominals one. It's a connect the body together and help it to work as one piece. You know, as one piece and not just like individual units. All right, so we're trying to get these connector muscles to get a little bit stronger there. All right, so we're just gonna do one more round through this. All right, ends up being pretty good. You know, it's a pretty good solid round. So second round, get us through there. About a half hour main working block. We'll do our stretches, have a little thought for the day, a little scripture and a prayer, and we'll be good to go. All right. Whew. 15 seconds. Sip of water if you need to, but don't drink too much because we lay it on our stomach for some of that, right? Small sips. Small sips there. All right. Sit on the ball. Walk out. All right, head is on the ball so the neck can rest a little bit. Feet are coming back towards you. I'm gonna pull that in. Get that in a little bit. All right, dig the heels in, squeeze up. Now also, a little bit narrower is a little bit tougher to do too. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good crampage. All right, so abs are pulled in here. There's a tightness in my hip flexors and my thigh, and my butt is gonna fight it at the top. Drop in a little bit. If you don't spend most of the time at the top, you're missing out on most of the work. So I'm dropping in a little bit. I'm calling this the feet in booty bridge because my feet are towards me a little bit more. You see there's a pretty decent bend in my knee there. Now sometimes I could talk and or I can work. I'm gonna try to do both, but if I stop talking, I can work harder. Focus, big. Press the heels in. Oh, hard squeeze. Drop in, squeeze up. Drop in a little bit, squeeze up. Now, if I do this right, I actually still feel a little bit of those muscles of the lower back here too. All right. Oh, that's so good. All right, wall squat. All right, to the wall, bring it up here. Sit in here, dropping in and squeezing up. All right, dropping in and squeezing up there. All right, push that butt back, dig those heels in. Now again, I'm gonna try to cook it a little bit more, so I'm not gonna come all the way up. I'm not gonna come all the way up because I don't, as soon as you stand all the way up, all the muscles shut off. And I'm trying to get as much as I can into those muscles. All right, so I don't wanna shut them off too many times. All right, keep them switched on, keep them working. All right, dig those heels in, dropping in, squeezing up. Dropping in, squeezing up. This features a lot more of the thigh, but I'm still getting my glutes as I press into the ground here. All right, if I do it right, I can feel like a shaky feeling as I come up from there. All right, come down. Shaky feeling as I come up. Drop in. Good, almost there. Try to torch it, try to torch it. Oh, yes. All right, we got the wide split. Reaching side to side here. All right, reaching over, stretch it. Whew. All right, reach it back. I feel a little more flexible this round already. All right, that feels like my hips are letting me move just a little bit more in there. All right, you might be able to go a little wider than I can. When you're going wide like this, you do need to make sure that your knees aren't buckling in as you do that, all right? You know, so keep that stretch happening in the inner thigh a bit there too. And keep maybe a little more weight on the outside edge of your feet in this position there. Stretching. Now, as I lean forward too, I get a little more hamstring as I go over that side. So I got groin kind of the whole time, but as I approach each side, I get the back of the leg just a little bit more. And I like the ball for this because otherwise my lower back wouldn't have the same support if I was just reaching over here. The lower back would be a little more fragile. But here I can really got a good anchor for it. I can push on that leg flexibility a little bit harder without having to worry about it. All right, get the pass and tap. Coming down. Put the feet, reaching back. See if we can get a good thing going here. A lot of the difficulty of this is not in the motion of it, but in the pull-in of your abs while you're doing it. All right, so I'm gonna challenge you, pull those abdominals in more. Especially when you're tapping on the ground back behind you. That's when you need to tighten in the most. That's where a lot of people start taking a rest break, all right? Not us. We're trying to get the serious work, and right close to that tapping moment is the biggest work. Right in there, that's the hardest working part of the exercise, all right? If your neck gets too tired, you can set it down in between there. Mine can handle it a bit, so I'm gonna try to challenge it a little bit to get a little stronger itself too. It's not overwhelming right now. Oh, the abs are starting to check out. It's getting harder to pull in, which is good timing. All right, so now we have the hamstring curl. So I put the feet up on the ball, lift the hips up, rolling in, squeezing up. All right. Now, this is not the hardest version of this that you can do. All right, but I can't do like a whole minute of the other version, you know, but you can do a one-legged leg curl here too. But I would say most of us don't need that. I don't really even need that usually, unless I'm doing like a smaller number of reps. what I want to do is get a little more muscle endurance in here and really focus on getting the hips to come up. And if you make it too hard, you may not be able to get the hips to come up. If you're having trouble with balance, keep your hands a little wider on the ground. Hips go up first, then the ball rolls in. All right, so you're trying to pop the ball with your heels. So don't emphasize the rolling ball as much, more of the lifting hips. All right, lift the hips, roll it just a little bit. All right, lift the hips, roll it just a little bit. Oh, that was wonderful. Hope it was wonderful for you too. All right, band. All right, around the wrists. All right, we're into a rest. All right, here we go. Shoulders away from the ears, chest is out. First couple reps here feel like not too bad. I'm like, I got this, we got this, right? No problem. All right, now again, you're not going all the way in. Keep some tension in there. Some tension on the band and small little movements. Now, that farthest out is about what I can do. Like, I can't break this thing. not from this angle. You know, that's a long lever arm. And so just a little bit of pressure way out there is very difficult. All right? Oh boy. Burning out. Got about a few seconds left though. Let's go boldly, let's go brave. Oh, good. Whew. Around the ankles. All right, loop the ankles there. All right, feet up on the sliders. Let's get that same horrible feeling in our little glute muscles here too. All right, set those on there. All right, abs are in tight. Small little movements. Now I've done this one before where I actually combined like a couple of these so I could go a little bit wider, and that's a pretty fun challenge too. So if you have a couple of them, you want to tie them together a little bit and have your feet go a little bit farther apart, you can do that. You're going to feature that muscle just a little bit differently there. Most of the time we do use that muscle in this range of motion though. This is closer to our walking position here. All right, so that's closer to being standing up. All right, abs are pulled in. Oh, fire. I'm gonna pick up the pace a little bit, see if I can really scorch it. A little quicker. Such a silly looking thing. Boy, is that hard. All right, so we got the side to side balance with that ball overhead. All right. Reaching up, reaching over. All right, abs are in tight. And switch sides. Reaching up, reaching over. Extend it out a ways, but keep those abs pulled in. Now, if I reach forward more, I'm not gonna get my abs as much. So if that ball's in front of me a bit, I'm not gonna get my abs as much. Now, if I reach back more, try to open up this posture more, then I go, oh yeah, there they are. Reaching that ball back behind you a little bit while you're reaching out to the side. Whew. Big challenge there. All right. Oh boy. Come on, Jeremy. This is what we want though. We want this difficulty. Coordinating the body together on a grand movement like this. All right, because it's got arms, it's got legs, it's got core, it's got balance. Whew. All right, lay in our stomach here. Just about there. Really trying to finish off that lower back now. All right, really getting that area really good and strong. Squeezing back, squeezing down. We will have so much CORE-ISMA because of this workout. All right, they'll be like, I don't know what it's about them, but there's this indescribable something that's just so special about them. And we'll go like, it's our CORE-ISMA. We're just very CORE-ISMatic. All right, abs are pulled in, butt's tight, squeeze our shoulders down and back. Whew. But there's sometimes you see people that actually stand up taller. Yeah, there's something to that. They stand up taller, they walk stronger. They don't look fragile, they look strong and purposeful. That's CORE-ISMA. All right. Abs tight. Starting to get this little cook in the lower back. Shoulders squeezing, squeezing. All right. Make sure you're clear on this. The arms are not out to the side. They're towards the sides just a little bit more, okay? All right, good. Pointer time, all right? What also known as the bird dog. Same side for that whole time, okay? Oh boy, this is gonna be great. Now, if you do have that, like, you know, man, my lower back sometimes goes out on me when I'm shoveling, things like that, it's these muscles that need the attention, all right? It's a lot of work to shovel, all right? A lot of repetitions. It's longer than a 75-second round of bird dogs, actually. All right, so this is a really good foundational work to get us closer to being ready for a real work like that. Abs are in tight. Oh yeah, shoulders burning a little bit here. That tightness. Now, you're fighting against some tightnesses in your body here too. Abs pulled in, flexing those abs. The harder you flex the abs, the more the lower back burns while you're doing it. Oh, it's gotta be, we're getting close, we're getting close. Yeah. All right, other side. All right, this is nice because you don't lose too much time in the transition here. You get more time for fun. So I'm really, I can feel it radiating in there. This shoulder's not as tired yet, but I'm excited for what's gonna happen here. All right. If we're not happy about getting tired while we're exercising, we are not getting happy about the right thing. All right. Exercise is to put the body to its limit so that it can increase its limit. All right. So if it's just easy to do this stuff, you're not doing it right. All right. Find a harder way to squeeze, a more purposeful movement, stronger in the abs while you're doing it. The harder you pull those abs in, it's a huge difference. If I lay here and just flop my arm up and down, nowhere near the same as my abs are pulling in tight right now. All right, I'm bracing up against this wall. All right, almost there. Final cook here. There we go. Oh, did it. I mean, you could probably feel all that CORE-ISMA, you know, surging through your body. All right, we're gonna switch into some stretch time here, all right? All right, stretch time, and I got a little thought for the day for you here too. All right, so lay down here, pull the knee in towards you. All right, we're gonna stretch out a little bit. All right, do the stretches, all right? Only people who think short term don't stretch, all right? And your older self will wish you had thought long term. All right, so these are the stretches right here. We get the knee pull in, we cross the ankle over the knee, then we're gonna stand up, do triceps, hip, quad. We're gonna do the calf, the chest, and the hamstring. All right, other side. All right, so just a few moments on each muscle, really, all right? But we're trying to see if we can get our pelvic self to move better. All right, you ever have that thing where you bend over and you try to get something off the floor and it feels like really far away? You need to stretch more. You need to stretch more. All right, the workouts are really, really good for this, but don't skip stretch time. All right, and pull that in towards you here. All right, cross the ankle over the knee, reach through, grab that bottom leg, pull it towards you. All right, maybe I could talk about this lesson here while I'm doing this. All right, so they did a study with mice, all right? And they had them do cognitive tests. They're actually testing whether or not exercise or enriching environment was better for you. So like, if you're like, I'm gonna work on my brain and do Sudokus and crossword puzzles, think about this too, all right? So what they did is they put these mice in several different situations. Other side on the ankle over the knee here, right? So they put them in a few other situations here. They tested them before. They gave them a little dye in there so they could find out if their brain changed at all during this. And I don't know what a mice cognitive test is, but I hope I could pass it. All right, but what they did is they had 4 different scenarios. All right, so they had lots of different food variety, all sorts of flavors and spices and all those kind of things. All right, we're going to the tricep stretch here. So that's a standing, pat yourself on the back stretch here. All right, but they had all those things. Then they had little running wheels and they had not a running wheel yet, but they had balls and tunnels and all sorts of toys. They added new toys in there, so their brains got lots of new input there. All right, and then another group had all that same stuff and also a running wheel. And then one group had boring cage and rat chow, and the other had boring cage, rat chow, and a running wheel. All right, other side on the tricep stretch. Here's my hands overhead there, patting yourself on the back, lifting it up there. All right, and so what they found is only 2 groups really had a big improvement, and that was, the group with the running wheel. All right, and so the next slide here, it talks about, what the author said, about that, is that they love the toys, and the mice rarely ventured into the empty, quieter portions of their cages. But unless they also exercised, they did not get smarter. All right. So unless they also exercised, they did not experience, a whole lot of boost the intelligence. So we got the hip stretch here. All right. So there it is. There it is, right there. All right. So for me, obviously, I'm a trainer. I think this exercise thing is a good deal. All right, is a powerful, helpful thing, to be doing with my time, my body. But the studies over and over again keep saying exercise beats all the kinds of brain games you could try to play, to make yourself smarter. All right, it's like you need the exercise time. All right, now a workout like this, we're huffing and puffing, we're breathing. This is great. That's gonna contribute there. This is particularly talking on the cardio side of things too, though. So we'll do some other cardio exercises in these lunchtime breaks as well. All right, the little quad stretch. Point that knee down, push the hips forward. If you have a tough time doing this one, sometimes you could do it like with a chair in front of you and loop it up on the couch or something, and then drop in and stretch. All right. If you're trying to get this quad stretch and you can't quite reach your foot while doing it, you can also do it laying down with like a little belt or something like that too. All right, point that knee down, push the hips forward. So for me, why does Jeremy exercise? He looks fabulous. He doesn't need to exercise, right? Well, that's part of how I look the way I do, But one of my big motivators, like I don't exercise necessarily to control my weight as much as I exercise so I can bend and move well, and I exercise to keep disease away, including diseases of the mind. All right, the studies have shown over and over again, people who are exercising, they can actually build up the parts of their brain affected by Alzheimer's dementia and make them a little more robust, which could buy you more time. All right? How are we on? We're on the calf stretch. What is that? Comment. There's a comment? What does it say? Read from Colorado, from Andrew Boot. Read from Andrew Boot. Excellent. Excellent. That guy has some CORE-ISMA, I'll tell you. All right? Pressing that heel in. If you look on our channel, there's a few videos from him. He retired from tall trainer. I'm going to switch legs here on the calf stretch. But boy, did he make some beautiful things. Yeah, strong mind, strong body. That's right. Uh-huh. Andrew Boot does the ultra marathon-y stuff. He's done 100 miles several times now. That's interesting. That's strong mind right there. That's a strong mind. You got a lot of self-doubt that can creep into you over that many hours. All right, now we got the chest stretch here. All right, arm up on the wall here, shoulders down, chest is out, turning away from it. All right, get a nice stretch across the chest. Make sure the shoulder's down, the chest is out, and you actually are feeling it towards the midline of the chest. All right, I can't tell you how often, you can do some of these stretches, and exercises lots of times, but be missing the most beneficial range of motion, the most beneficial position on it. All right, other side. Shoulders down, chest is out. Get a really nice stretch in there. Whoo-wee. Abs pulled in. You can reach that out there. La. It's good to see you. I can't see you, but I can see you with my heart. Looks like I can see you. All right, stretching in there, really nice. All right, so a little finishing thought here too. You know, so I got like a little scripture of the day. I'm a Christian. I believe it's a wonderful thing, but there's a lot of wisdom to be found in the Bible, even if you're not a Christian. And so in this passage it says, "For our present troubles are small and won't last very long, yet they produce for us a glory that will vastly, outweigh them, and will last forever." All right. So 2 Corinthians 4:17. So for me right now in my life, my mother-in-law has had a stroke, and she's just 3 months basically now into rehabbing and recovering from that, and just barely getting to standing. And you go, this is trouble. This is hard. When I ruptured my lower back, it was kind of a dark season for me. And people, we have injuries, we have sick loved ones, we have sicknesses ourselves, and we have troubles. And it's helpful to think of things in a little bit, to step back longer. Because for me, when I went through my back pain, season, it felt like forever, and it felt like it was never going to end. I have been years and years, decades away from that now. Maybe 2 decades. only about 2. But that's pretty good though. 20 years away from that. All right? And it's a small episode now that I look back at it. And so when we look at things from an eternal perspective, our problems and struggles are small here. And sometimes they're hard to carry, and we should work on carrying them together. But we also need to keep that perspective of listen, there's a bigger game at play. And whether I don't have to be winning, all these little parts, the idea is that we win at the end. All right, so just hang in there and persevere, whatever the challenge is that you're currently going through. All right, let me say a little prayer there, and we'll call it a day. God, thank you for anybody who's able to join in and have a good time. Thank you for Andrew Boot, and his comment there. Help us, use this as a chance to connect and share comments and and interact. Help this to be something that is useful, for others, and that is something that enhances people's bodies. And it's kind of like a way that we here in the Tall Trainer and Refuse Average, that we can kind of give back a little bit too, and maybe help out people who aren't necessarily connected to our program, currently. Help us to be safe. And help us to do this life as best we can. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. All right. Have fun. Be safe. God bless.